My name is Megan Vickers. I'm a physiotherapist and Pilates instructor, and today I'm going to take you through stage 2 postnatal rehabilitation. So moving on to this stage isn't necessarily based on time, but achievement of pelvic stability, pelvic floor activation and deep abdominal wall sequencing. So if you move progressively through my videos, and when you feel strong in stage 1, you can move up the sequences. So today we're going to start on all fours. So when you're in all fours, you want your hands directly underneath your shoulders and your knees directly underneath your hips, so your thigh bones are vertical. Trying to create a flat back, so we don't want to dip down too much, we don't want to round to the sky. You want to think about coffee table flat back, so small little arch in your low back, chest lifted, looking straight down. So from here, we're going to go into our pelvic floor activation. So starting at your tailbone, think about connecting tailbone down through to pubic bone, and then a zipper from your low tummy, from pubic bone all the way up to tummy button. Hold that here. And then without shifting too far side to side, we're going to breathe out and one leg is going to lift up towards the ceiling with a pointed toe. And then that leg is going to come back down. Breath out, that little zip up, that leg lifts, and then that leg comes back down. We're going to stay on the same side. Now, when I was very early postnatal and I tried to do these open chain movements, I did have quite a big rock across my waist from side to side. And when I looked down, there was a little bit of doming, so I could tell that I wasn't sequencing or using the front of my tummy quite so well. So if you notice that when you look down, your tummy doesn't pull up and in, but actually starts to protrude a little bit, you're not quite ready for open chain exercises, which is totally fine. We stick along with stage 1 for a little bit longer. Okay, one more with a bent knee. And now we're going to take it into a straight leg. So from a bent knee to a straight leg, and then all the way back in. So we just add in this variety to get a little bit of fatigue through those important muscle groups. The hamstring and the bottom are really important for pelvic ring closure. So regardless of the type of our delivery, we're still trying to achieve that pelvic ring stability after pregnancy. So I keep glancing to make sure my back stays as flat as possible and try not to let it dip as my leg goes back or round as my leg comes in. Trying to keep that tension in that zip through pelvic floor and lower tummy. Okay, now the last one with a straight leg. I'm just going to draw some little rainbows out to the side, back up and over. So now I feel the muscles work across my waist a little bit more. So coming from that leg towards my opposite arm. So that bypasses the big muscle down the middle, your rectus abdominis, and through your linear alba, the connective tissue that can get quite stretched in pregnancy. To make sure that I've got tension there, I'm keeping my pelvic floor lifted and I'm working on creating tone at the middle. So there's no protrusion, again glancing down, making sure the tummy looks like it's drawing up and in and not sinking down. 3, 2, 1. Okay, now we go straight into the opposite side because hopefully, like me, you're feeling the opposite side really start to work as well. So we just want to harness that activation, switching on those muscles, and we go straight into the opposite leg. So again, you can feel very different side to side, especially if there's been a weakness or an injury through one side compared to the other. So just check in like it's the first time doing this exercise, keeping that pelvis in neutral, glancing down and checking you can lift tummy gently up and in with that pelvic floor activation. The opposite thigh bone staying vertical. Breath out, zip up low tummy as that leg reaches to the ceiling. Okay, now we take it into a straight leg, so that leg goes back, kick straight, draw it in. We breathe out, breathe in. Try and think about the weight on each arm. It should be 50-50, so we're not taking our weight all the way over to one side. Chest is staying lifted. It's quite normal for that upper body to sink down, especially with a new baby to carry. Okay, now little rainbows. That leg goes back. And we draw little semicircles across our body and over and out. Up and over, over and out. And the size of that little rainbow depends on how steady you are. So we don't want to rock with it. It's just a movement in the hip socket. So if we were filming you, everything but your leg, we shouldn't be able to tell that you're moving at all. Breathe in one way, breathe out and return. Again, really kind of focus in on that midline. Make sure you're building tension across the front of your tummy as you do this. So there's no dropping or doming of your tummy muscles. Last one. And bend the knee. Perfect. Okay, so now we're going to switch to the tummy focus. So we're going to progress again, stage 1. We're going to try a little bit of tabletop. So when you go into lying, always go from your side and then roll over instead of going straight back, where you might get a bit of that protrusion of your tummy. So when we're practicing into tabletop, we're going to keep our hands on our low tummy to begin with and have a ball or a cushion handy. And you're going to start by just sliding one leg off the floor and up into a tabletop position. So good tabletop is that 5 in at 90. So the first time we're going here, so we're just going to allow it to rest in a little bit and see how this first one feels. Now the opposite leg. Lift up your heel, try and engage through pelvic floor, feel tension in your low tummy and gently imprint your low back on the floor. That means gently pressing your lower back down into the ground to stop it from lifting up. Now slide that leg in towards your bottom and bring it up to join the opposite leg. Now both legs are up here. You need to make sure that your tummy muscles didn't jump out. We're trying to keep that control. We're trying to build a nice flat abdominal wall. So making sure you've got your deep muscles switched on first to hold that tension here. So let's try that one more time. So we're going to come down with one leg and then the opposite leg comes down. So we start lifting one leg up and in. And let's try true tabletop now, not past it if that felt okay. If it was quite hard, bring it all the way in. Now imprinting your back onto the floor, so gently bringing your tailbone underneath you, back gaze down, zip up pelvic floor, low tummy, heel lift, slide and lift. Okay, now if this feels okay, we're going to practice squeezing our ball or cushion in tabletop. Be it true tabletop or just past it where it's a little bit easier to hold it here and activate our muscles in the right way. When we talk about doming, it's where those tummy muscles are jumping out. And so with that deep core activation that we've already set up in stage 1, we're going to make sure that doesn't happen. So we're going to hold it here for a good 30-second squeeze. Squeezing those knees really strongly together, making sure that deep tummy wall comes together. Maybe even feel through your midline to make sure that there's tension underneath your fingers. Give me 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees in. One leg goes down at a time. We're going to do that again, this time adding in some little arm pulses. So one leg lifts, comes in and up into tabletop. Imprint, zip up, opposite leg comes up into tabletop. We're going to squeeze the ball really strongly. So again, either true tabletop, slightly easier, moving into true tabletop as you feel able to. And then squeezing that ball in little arm pats at your side. So what you're trying to do here anatomically is tighten that muscular corset around your waist. Trying to keep everything still, everything's been on a really big stretch. We're now trying to shorten the amount of movement that goes through that tummy. So an isometric's a really good way of doing that. Keep that ball as strongly squeezed as you feel able to without the tummy protruding. Keep little breaths. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Going to take the ball away, legs in, one leg down at a time. Okay, next progression is overhead arms. So only progress when you feel able to. If the first one feels hard enough, please stick there until you feel ready to come up. So now, one leg, imprint, opposite leg. We hold in tabletop. Those muscles are cling wrapping our tummy, tightening out through the pelvic floor, squeezing the ball, breathing out. Take those arms only as high as you can without your back lifting up off the floor. So your tummy muscles should stay in, your ribs in contact with the ground, and then your arms come all the way back. So you breathe out, squeeze the ball, the arms come up, overhead, breathe in and come back. So again, we're looking at 4 sets of these 30-second holds. So it's 2 minutes of work of isometric contraction through that deep abdominal wall, the rectus abdominis over the top. Only when we've built this strength back up in a static way can we then start to move to our dynamic exercises. So again, it's achieving our strength gains rather than moving it based on time. Let's try and squeeze in 2 more. And now one leg down at a time. Okay, we've got one more little set of that. So when you're ready, one leg raises up, imprint, tummy muscles engage, opposite leg joins it. And we're going to hold in tabletop with that ball squeeze. So nice strong ball squeeze. I'm going to bring my arms up, and this time my pulses are going to be at shoulder height, trying not to bounce. So a progression of overhead arms, incorporating hundreds of pulses. Most important thing is that lower abdominal control, switching on the pelvic floor and squeezing the ball. Anything else that happens is just an added bonus. It's a progression of that. So make sure that is solid and really strong first of all. Let's go for 10 more. 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. One leg down at a time. Perfect. Okay, next thing we're going to try is some open chain plank. So rolling onto your side. This is another incorporation of pelvic stability. So your gluteals, which are your pelvic stabilizers, and next door neighbour to the pelvic floor. So for this, we're going to have our legs to start with up at 90 degrees. So this works on your big glute max, having your legs up a little bit higher than standard climb. You're going to lift up your top leg, and from here, I'm going to ask you to open your knee to the sky, and then you're going to close it down. So you're going to breathe out, you're going to open, and you're going to close it down. So I've taken you up into an open chain, single leg movement. So it's quite a task on the pelvis to control this. But you're on your sides, you've got a good base of support. You need to try and keep your two pelvis bones stacked. And this is going to prepare you for anything where you want to weight bear on one leg. So nice long walks, getting towards running, up and down the stairs, where all that strength and stability is needed down through that one side. And your pelvis, therefore, needs to be really nice and strong. Give me 2 more. 1. Now staying here, that leg is going to straighten out. And from there, that leg just lifts and lowers, lifts and lowers. If you take your hands onto your low tummy, those muscles should be switching on. If you're not sure you're getting any sort of tension across the middle that's making you dome, try and engage your low tummy pelvic floor and see if you can make sure your corset muscle is switching on. Give me 3, 2, 1, and bend your knee. Okay, now we take our legs back. So there's only a slight bend in the hips now. That top leg lifts up, and we're going to open chain climb from here. So with this one, we need to keep going with that pelvis, the pelvis being stacked and the waist being long. So that means when I look at your spine, it's dead straight. In standing, you have a waist, and in lying, we want to see that waist. So our 2 pelvis bones stacked on top of the leg, and it's just a little roll in the hip socket. Breathe out and roll, breathe in and close. Breathe out and roll, breathe in and close. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, now we're going to straighten the leg from here, and same thing, that leg lifts up and down. So we're working on that lateral stability, making sure again you can transfer load across the middle of your pelvic floor, pubic bone and tummy muscles, as well as getting that posterior pelvic ring closure. Hopefully feeling those bottom muscles. See if you can get a co-contraction of your pelvic floor. So as you lift your leg, you breathe out, you lift your pelvic floor. So that you're teaching your pelvic floor to lift against resistance. And that's how it works normally. 3, 2, and 1. And relax that back down. Okay, we're going to change sides. So in this postnatal phase, just like in pregnancy, try and change position with your legs together. We're still thinking about protection, so we don't want to destabilise that pelvic ring by swinging our legs wide open. Okay, we're going to bring those legs up to 90 to begin with, waist lifted, pelvis stacked, shoulders still. The top leg lifts, and from the knee, you roll. So it's the hip socket that's moving, the knee rolls up and down. Like I'm holding your foot still, and your foot can't move. And it's just rolling into that external rotation. Again, the next door neighbour to the pelvic floor is that gluteal muscle. And here we're getting into the real big gluteal muscles and into the deep hip stabilizers. Your waist is lifted, so you know your deep abdominal corset is switched on. Breathe out, smooth, breathe in and return. 3, 2, you take that leg out in front of you, and from there, trying to keep the leg high, we lift again. Feel into your low tummy, feel that those muscles are working to hold that leg up here in front of you. If not, try and add in your lower pelvic floor lift. Breathe out and lift, out and lift. Three, two, one, and down. Okay, so now we're going to take the legs back. This is only just a slight bend in the hips. Waist is lifted, pelvis bones are stacked on top of one another, top leg lifts up. And again, from the knee, you roll open and close, open and close. Again, making sure that your foot stays still and you only roll from the hip socket, keeping the neck and shoulders as relaxed as possible. Three, two, and one. Okay, now straightening that leg out, waist stays long, and you lift that leg up. You'll find that as you lift that leg up, your waist will want to press into the ground and you just side flex the spine. This is all about keeping the back still. So the back still and the hip moving independent of that low back. Breath out and lifting up. Again, feeling that challenge through the low tummy as much as in that burning bottom. Three, two, and one, and relaxing that leg down. Okay, so the last thing you're going to finish with here in your stage 2 program is a little seated spine twist. So when you're seated, you want to try and create a flat back posture. But it's all about opening up that chest and trying to create that space in your upper back. If your upper back is tight and pulls you forwards, that curves your low back also, and that's going to put a lot more pressure firstly out onto your tummy and then secondly down to your pelvic floor. So legs out straight if you can sit upright in that position, otherwise just put a little bend in the knees. And then one hand onto your thighs, the other hand comes up, back and down. And as you place that hand on the floor, you're trying to wrap that shoulder backwards. This front hand can give you a little bit of a counter twist. So the lower back is fixed, you're not rotating your low back. It's just an upper back and chest opener. And you look over that shoulder, drawing the shoulder down. Now with all of the feeding, carrying and lifting you've been doing, it's no wonder your chest is going to get really tight, and that's what pulls you forwards. So this is one way of opening up that chest and making sure that's not happening. We're going to bring that arm all the way up, and we're going to take it the opposite way. So the hand comes up, back and around. You're using the opposite hand if you need to just guide you round. But importantly, you pull that shoulder, open the chest, rotate and wrap that shoulder all the way back behind you, and look over it. You breathe into this stretch, you wrap the shoulder back, and you return. Good work. Well, I hope you feel your progression this week, and follow me on to stage 3 when you feel ready.